I'm Managing Editor Kim Schmidt. Welcome to On the Record. Here's a look at what's currently impacting the ag equipment industry. On September 3rd, CNH Industrial and New Holland announced they entered into an agreement to acquire Miller St. Nazian Inc., a manufacturer of self-propelled sprayer and silage packaging storage products based in St. Nazian, Wisconsin. At the closing, expected by the end of 2014, Miller's sprayers and ag bag lines will become part of New Holland. New Holland's September 3rd letter to dealers was shared with On the Record. Sent from Vice President Abe Hughes and Director of Growth Initiatives Ron Schaefer, the letter stated that the Miller acquisition defines a new chapter for New Holland's commitment to the professional and broad acre segment of the agricultural industry and provides a strong platform to grow the self-propelled sprayer business on a global scale. John Miller, president of the 260-employee Miller St. Nazian, told the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel yesterday that the company had been struggling to expand its market presence since 99% of farm equipment dealerships carry a major line. Since Miller St. Nazian has been providing sprayers to New Holland since 2010, Miller said it made sense to approach CNH Industrial about acquiring the company. Miller told the newspaper that he'd be leaving the company at the closing of the sale, but that CNH intended to keep all employees and operate the company as is. Historically, New Holland has not grown through acquisitions of independent specialty equipment manufacturers. We sent a team of editors to the Farm Progress Show in Boone, Iowa last week. Here's Assistant Editor Jamie Elfman with a report on news from the show.
The 2014 Farm Progress Show, the largest outdoor farm show in the U.S., took place last week from August 26 to 28. Mick Dobre, analyst with Baird Equity Research, said in a note to investors that while traffic appeared relatively normal at the Deere Case and AGCO booths, traffic was slower at the Kubota, Mahindra, and other OEM booths. Stephen Fisher, analyst with UBS, told investors, overall the mood was relatively downbeat, as the reality has generally set in that ag equipment demand is declining after the strong upcycle over the last few years. Large ag is expected to be disproportionately weaker relative to small equipment, as livestock demand remains healthy. Deere highlighted a relationship with Hilco, a provider of baling technology, at the show. This focus on hay, Fisher says, is largely due to a combination of strength in livestock and weakness in grain while presenting Deere with the opportunity to access differentiated new products. Dobre says the livestock equipment market will potentially become more competitive. At the New Holland booth, there was a meaningful disparity in financing availability between the smaller livestock equipment and the larger crop equipment. CNH management attributed this difference to OEMs generally chasing the livestock market, as it has been a source of relative strength in ag, he says. Fisher says that AGCO, similarly, highlighted the bright spots of livestock-driven equipment demand, commercial spraying, and storage. He says AGCO expects orders for the following season will be healthy as the company takes share in the North American market.
While low commodity prices have much of the ag industry talking about declines in overall net farm income, there's good news coming from the livestock segment of the industry. The USDA is projecting net farm income to fall 13.8% this year, the lowest level in 4 years. But that is an improvement on the 27% drop the department was predicting in February. The upbeat outlook is largely the result of an improved outlook for livestock farmers, who are reaping the benefits of record prices for beef and pork, as well as low prices for corn and other grains. According to the USDA, livestock farmers' receipts are expected to rise 15% this year. Back in February, the department was predicting just a 0.7% rise. The record cattle and beef prices are primarily due to drought impacts on the U.S. cattle inventories and degraded pasture conditions and forage supplies. While feed and forage supplies have improved in 2014, herd rebuilding is progressing slowly because some growers are selling animals while the prices are high, according to the USDA. The Association of Equipment Manufacturers is reporting the sale of utility tractors, which are largely used by hay and forage and livestock producers, is up 4.2% through the first 7 months of this year. Now here's technology editor Jack Zemlicka with his latest report from the Technology Corner.
Thanks, Kim. As the debate over data ownership continues in precision agriculture, there is both skepticism and optimism in the industry as to how rapidly farmers will embrace the opportunity to share farm information in order to increase productivity. Some companies are using words like control and manage when talking about a farmer's stake in his or her field data, while others have explicitly stated that farmers are the sole owners of any information collected in their operation. But whatever stance a company takes, the key to successful evolution of data management in agriculture will be the value farmers derive from it. David Friedberg, CEO of the Climate Corporation, says that in 10 years, he hopes the industry is transformed to the point where farmers aren't even talking about data anymore because collection and analysis will have become a seamlessly integrated part of their farming operation. We caught up with Friedberg at this year's Farm Progress Show, where he shared his perspective on data management ownership and what approach the ag industry needs to take to increase farmer adoption in these services.
I think ultimately the farmer is going to decide what's right and what's best, and they're going to decide how the industry is going to move forward. We believe that if you buy a piece of equipment, you own the data that comes out of that equipment. Because when you buy a piece of equipment, the company that sold you that equipment, they don't own the yield that comes out of your farming operation at the end of the season. So why should they have any right to your data as well? And so we're really clear that that's our position in the industry, and if farmers vote with their dollars and vote with their partnership, hopefully that position will win in the marketplace and everyone can benefit. Because that approach also allows data to move seamlessly, and farmers can choose who's going to provide them the most value with their data, who's going to provide them the greatest insights. And they're going to have the freedom and flexibility to do that if we all adopt that approach. And I think they're going to make that decision with their dollars.
While farmers are increasingly tech savvy, adopting precision farming technology to improve efficiency, Friedberg adds that they shouldn't have to worry about being IT managers, wondering where their data is going and who is using it. This all comes down to trust that data is only being used in a way that benefits the farmer. Back to you, Kim.
According to the Ag Equipment Intelligence Dealer Sentiments and Business Condition Update, released on August 29th, used high-horsepower tractor inventory saw a large jump in July. A net 20% of dealers reported their inventories for used high-horsepower tractors were too high in July, compared to just 3% in June who said inventories were too high. A net 39% of dealers reported overall used equipment inventories were too high in July versus 16% in June, with high-horsepower tractors driving the majority of the increase. In addition, prices for high-horsepower tractors were down 2.1% year-over-year in July versus down 0.8% the previous month. And now from the Ag Equipment Archives. In 1977, Versatile introduced the Versatile 150, the world's first bidirectional tractor. Its billed as the first push-pull tractor and marketed as a number of self-propelled machines in one. The seat and console of the tractor could be swiveled 180 degrees within the cab. Sound familiar? Claas introduced its Xerion tractor, the company's first tractor to hit the North American market, at this year's Farm Progress Show. The Xerion tractor, like the Versatile 150, features a bidirectional push-pull design with the cab able to be swiveled 180 degrees. As always, we welcome your feedback. You can send comments to kschmidt@lespub.com. Next time, Assistant Editor Jamie Elfman will be taking over as your on-the-record host while I'm out on maternity leave. Thanks for watching.